formula you guys had been using where it just seemed like you would wear teams down. That third quarter seemed like comeback was on their numbers, like we talked about, whether it's coincidence or not. Their shooting numbers, build and 3-point, were both down. Did you like the shot selection you guys had the last 3 minutes? I know you probably want to watch the film, but I think Zach rushed, or he went like almost 3-on-1. I think he tried to draw the foul. Then on the timeout, he had the mid-range.
Yeah, that was something. We ran a play coming out of a timeout was to get Vuce maybe for a layup on a back screen, and they both ran to Vuce, and Zach did what he was supposed to do. He just rolled right to the pocket. I think it was a 6-point game. So even if he makes that with 2 minutes, that's great. That gives us 2 points. I didn't mind the shot at all. I thought he rolled back. I thought Io had a good look out of the corner. I thought we generated a pretty good one, which we missed. We had a couple shots that Josh, I thought, had a pretty good look at the top of the key. He missed that one. And for them, I think Thomas made it. I think, the last 3 games, it's 2017. We're fighting our way back, and we're doing that. I thought the turnovers in the first half and even a little bit in the second half, I think we've got to be better. We're going to have to utilize each other more. I think there's so many times we're driving, we're trying to make plays, and this is, I think, what I mentioned to you before the game, that our finishing at the basket has not been great, and some of it's been because of that. We're trying to go in there and finish, and what we need to do is we need to stop, play off 2 feet, because everybody's pulled to the basket and there's 3 around the ball. When we did that, I thought we generated pretty good shots, but I didn't think that we moved the ball on penetration like we had been doing, and I thought our guys ran after the pace was really good, but I think off the ball we've got to do a better job, and I also think the guy with the ball's got to do a better job of being more under control.
You mentioned the defensive rating, I think, whatever, it's 7th or 8th in the league going into tonight, and that doesn't always match the eye test. It seemed like you brought up the breakdowns. It seemed like there were some major breakdowns on defense. Is that those guys just getting used to each other? Is it communication, or is it all of the above?
Well, I think they lived in the paint. I think there was clearly, we had some transition breakdowns. We gave some easy layups. I thought the most important point going into the game was who could handle closeouts better. Meaning, could we defend them on a closeout situation, or could they defend us? I thought we really had a hard time containing the basketball, and with that. Maybe not so much as maybe Oklahoma City with the straight line drives, but similar. They got a lot of guys, Thomas and Schroeder, those guys put the ball down, they drive it. But I agree. I think we needed to be a lot better, defensively than we were. I think it was a combination of there was some game plan breakdown, there was some transition, maybe lack of communication, and then I think there was just some one-on-one defense, as well. I thought we had some opportunities on some rebounds. We gave some second chance points. We've got to try to win the possession battle, turnovers, the rebounding, where we're not really getting hurt. But yeah, I didn't think it was, I think I mentioned to you before that, half your defensive rating is what teams shoot against you, and you try to look at where they're shooting from, what you're going to live with. I do think as early as it is, I think our guys are working, but it's like, I think the one thing that always takes a little bit longer to come along is when you have teams starting to play with each other, finding a chemistry with each other. It always seems to me that defense is always maybe a little bit ahead of the offense this time of year, so I always try to reserve judgment. Now, what we're doing schematically, are we executing it? We're looking at that, but sometimes as the season goes on, the offenses you face, continually get better and more sound as they get more comfortable with each other.
Again, it's early, but are you starting to see that opposing teams, the blueprint that they're throwing at you guys is just attack them in the paint? Because the points in the paint are
No, it's we've got it. Yeah, it's the offensive rebounds and it's the point in the paint. And, Simmons is hard because, if you show him so much of a crowd, he sprays it and gets those guys shots or there's long closeouts and you having to guard the ball. But we've got to be better one-on-one in terms of the ball containment.
Is that physicality as well?
I think there's some physicality. I also think everybody's different. You got to know your length. How close can I get to the guy to be able to contest? and how much is too close where I have no chance of now guarding the dribble. So you can't just like stop 5 feet short and anticipate a drive and give up an open three. Everybody's got to, figure that out, based on their size and things like that. But I thought we had a hard time guarding them off the dribble. I agree with you. I thought the paint was a challenge, was a problem, and it's something we got to continue to work at and try to get better at and try to help those guys, whether it's through some different schemes or just some individual one-on-one pride or shrinking the floor a little bit. And, also think knowing who you're closing to, knowing personnel. I think that's important.
What'd you think of Vooch tonight?
You know what? I give him a lot of credit from this standpoint, Joe. Like, we missed him so many times, and I had mentioned to those guys in the first quarter and in the second quarter and halftime, like, listen, when he is rolling, they're switching, they're doing different things. He is standing under the basket with a seal. We've got to find him. And our guys just didn't at times have that awareness. But he just kept playing. He had a couple great tip-ins. I thought we found him a little bit late, and we got him around the basket. We gave him, got him the ball in some areas, I thought, in the second half. Like in the first half, I thought we missed him much. I think he was maybe 3 for 3. Maybe, I don't know, he had 9 points or something like that. He should have had a whole bunch of more shots. Now, the one thing with Vooch is he's not like really a play caller guy where you try to just jam it into the post to him. He likes getting it off of movement and things like that. But we've got to collectively recognize when he's in some kind of screening action, he's sprinting or rolling to the basket, and the ball gets sprayed out. What's happened is our guys are looking to attack the closeout instead of like getting their eyes up and just throwing it right into the post. Zach had a great pass, I think, in the first half. We found, and we got to find those. We got to find those. That's another way for us to attack the paint. And I thought we missed him too much, but I thought on both ends of the floor he did a great job tonight.
Last one for me, then Modest. Was it a matchup thing tonight?
It really was. They were a little bit smaller, longer, more athletic, quicker. We had been playing kind of two forwards together. Sometimes it's been Modest and Patrick. I just didn't love that lineup there for us. I went with Taylor a little bit earlier because I thought with their full court pressure we may need another ball handler. But it was probably more of the game and the matchups that I felt like going into the game watching them play.
Thanks, Coach.
Great. Thank you. Yep. Thank you. Safe trip back.